My regards. Before we get into the details of this video, I want to warn that the information in it is not facts, or analyses. Perhaps it is closer to hallucinations and assumptions that I want to talk about today. Don't take it 100%. Discuss it with me in the comments and think about it. What is certain, clear, and agreed upon by all of us is that the prices of players in the English Premier League are not reasonable. It is not normal for a reserve player to leave for 30 or 40 million to another team. It is not normal for a newly promoted team to pay 30 and 40 million per player. We know approximately what we know in this video. I want to talk about the explanation of what the English Premier League clubs do deliberately in the process of paying very large prices between their clubs in a kind of intentionality that may not be agreed upon. This is definitely one of the reasons that the English paid lavishly and their players were more expensive, because they are one of the richest clubs in Europe, and most of their clubs are financially stable and their income is almost guaranteed seasonally. To the point that of the 30 highest income clubs in the world, 16 of them are English. Among the clubs that have not won titles for many years are Milan and Inter Milan, like Tottenham. With the highest income, this is a clear reason. A rich club does not sell its player easily. It can spend another year on him without problems with his salary. He asks for more and they are forced to pay him more. This is a clear reason. But today I'm coming to reveal something else. I'm hallucinating about another topic. The English did this intentionally. Their clubs do this intentionally because they don't want their players to be out of the league. They do not want the mistakes of the past to be repeated. They don't want Luis Suarez to leave for Barcelona. Neither Xabi Alonso will be at Real Madrid. Nor does Fabregas make games for Barcelona. They want anyone who thinks about a player from their club to think about it a million times before he picks up the phone at the club and says to them, "I want this player." In order for Bayern Munich to buy him, Harry Kane waited until the last season, meaning he waited for the last year of his contract, and he became the most expensive in the history of Bayern Munich, except that he is almost 30 years old. And imagine what the price has become. Hazard, the same thing, had 1 year remaining in his contract, and it became the most expensive in the history of Real Madrid. They want those who dream of Bernardo Silva to continue dreaming of Bernardo Silva and not make any offer to him until he had 1 year remaining on his contract, which he was thinking about. Rashford would forget about the matter as long as Rashford renews his contract before the final year. They actually want the stars to serve the best periods of their lives. They have the best periods of their stardom. Even the midfield clubs do not want their players to leave until they become the most expensive player in the history of England. They want terrible numbers in Capsido, McAllister, Kokoria and other players. They want a player like Declan Rice to come at this terrible and huge price to Arsenal. They want this thing that no club from abroad, one of the big clubs in Europe, thinks of taking the talent they have, even if it is an average club, because the average clubs sell to the rich clubs in their country at terrible prices. Buying a player from their midfield club has become an adventure. Because the price is high for a player, you do not know when you take him to a big team what he will give. Rafinha's uniform, whose price rose as a result of the demand for him, and now in Barcelona. They hope that the second season will play better than the first. This is their experience. This is their idea. This is me talking about them. They want the English Premier League to become almost closed, as if it were the NBA. It's intentional, it's not certain, but you feel there's a risk between everyone doing it. They want even the projects of unknown and famous talents to be expensive. A player like Eric Scott moved from Preston to Bournemouth for €23 million. This is the number of the largest club in Italy. If he wanted to pay for a player whose quality he was sure of, he would have to negotiate and negotiate. This way they ensured that their little talents remained with them. This is how they ensured that instead of moving from a small club to another European club and returning to them at a large price, the issue would still grow with a mid-range club and be sold for a large price, and the money would remain in the league. This confirms the theory that is being said now that the English Premier League is turning into an exclusive league for stars, experiences, and players. Whoever wants to buy a player who plays for an English club must think a million times, because he will pay his price and a half. And after Corona, the gap between the financial strengths of the English teams and other clubs appeared clearly, and they became able to implement this idea easily. Thus, it is as if they are closing the door on the league. No one becomes a superstar and goes to play in the Spanish league until his last days. Your star continues to serve you as a sports promotional media figure. He leaves when his contract has 1 year remaining, or when he becomes close to retirement. The situation is frightening in England. The way prices are raised is never a coincidence. Do not ignore or push without thinking. When you pay too much for Declan Rice, when you pay too much for Caicedo, do you know what West Ham and Brighton's purchasing power means? They will go out and collect talents from other leagues and gather them with them and develop them. And everyone enjoys the English Premier League. Almost every club in the English Premier League has players who are afraid. This is the idea in the end. Any club that wants a player from their club will count it 1,000,000 times. And notice who buys from the English Premier League other than Bayern Munich, Real Madrid and Barcelona. Giant clubs in Europe only. Those who are able to take courage knock on the door and get a player. Bernardo Silva, we have been hearing interest from clubs in Barcelona and Paris for years, and no club has made an official offer today.